Hi, hello everyone. This is Shivagami from SMS College of Technology. As I'm an assistant professor in the Department of Information Technology, here we're going to learn about the topic is the timeline in software project management system. Let's see the topic. Timeline. What does mean by timeline? The timeline in software project management is most very important thing. Okay. First, we're going to plan how much time, how long we have to spend for that project. Okay, so we have to plan and schedule for the successful delivery, and then ensure the task, resource, and deadline of the managed task. Okay. Introduction. What is meant by timeline? It is the visual representation of our project schedule. Okay, what is meant by timeline? It is the visual representation of project schedule. It is used to show the when we are going to start our project, the duration of the project, and end of the activities. Okay, it helps the task find our deadline of the project. Okay, it helps the track going to find our deadline of the project. It is the essential for monitoring the progress. The timeline is most important to monitoring our progress. The next one is importance of timelines. The importance of timelines. Provide the clear visibility of project stages. Okay, it is used to it provides the clear visibility. Okay, clear visibility of the project stage, which stage our project is now going. Okay, we are going to show that. And then it helps the time estimation and resource allocation. It helps in time estimation. Okay, yes, we know that we're going to do this one is for our time estimation and resource allocations, and it supports the coordination among the teams. It is used to give a good coordination among our team members. The next one is it enables yearly risk identification. It is used to identify our risk before. Okay, before yearly we are going to identify our risk. It improves the accountability and reporting. It improves accountability and reporting. The next one is timeline concepts, or the concepts in the timelines we are going to do. What are all the things we want to going to do? Okay, the task and activity is break down the project work. Okay, if suppose our project is very big, it is very complicated to manage the project or do that project. Okay, so we are going to divide that project into the subtask. Okay, and then the milestones, key deliverable and checkpoints. Okay, we should we should fix checkpoints for our projects. Okay, and then the dependencies, the sequence of activities. The dependencies means before we going to divide our project in a small task, so we going to fix a sequence process for projects. It is called as the dependencies. And then the duration, the time we should allocate the time for each task. Okay, and then the deadline, the final completion of the dates. Okay, the deadline is we are going to fix the final completion of our whole project. The next one is timeline tools and techniques. Here I give us some tools and techniques for our timeline management. Okay, Gantt chart. In this tool, in this technique, bar shows the task schedules. Okay, and then bar chart, critical path method. Here some tools are I given. MS Project, JIRA, Relo, Asana. It is all the software support tools. Okay. The next one is steps to create a timeline. Okay, how do we going to allocate the time for the project? Here some steps are given. Define the project objective and the scope. First we going to define our project and then scope of that project. Okay, the next one is identify the task and the deliverable, estimate the time and resources. It is the most important thing in every project. We should allocate our time and resources for that project before we going to start. Okay, the sequence activities is most important because we going to divide our project into the subtask. Okay, so that sequence is very important. And then the allocate resources and assigns the responsibility. Monitoring is the most important thing in every process. Okay, monitoring is most important in every process, so we should regularly monitoring that project. The next one is some challenges are we going to face in our managing timelines. Okay, the first one is the unrestricted deadlines, scope creep, resource unavailability, poor risk management, lack of monitoring. The conclusion of the timeline is the timeline or backbone of project. Okay, the timeline is our backbone or project. The timeline is the roadmap for our project successful. The timeline is called like a roadmap for our project. Okay, hope all you have understand the concept of the timeline in software project management system. Thank you all.